The last thing I remembered was the screech of tires on wet asphalt, my husband's face twisted in that fake sorrow as the truck barreled toward me, like he'd summoned it with his goddamn lies. I'd trusted him with everything. The diner, our life, my soul. And in that split second, as the world exploded in pain and darkness, I realized he'd poisoned my coffee that morning, not just the books. Betrayal tasted like rust in my throat, sharper than the impact. Then, nothing. Blackness, endless and cold, until a jolt, like God hit rewind on a busted VHS tape. My eyes snapped open to the sizzle of bacon on the grill, the clatter of plates in my tiny Kansas City diner, Victoria's last bite. It was 2018, not 2023. I was 32 again, not 37 and broken. My hands, younger, unscarred, gripped the edge of the counter, and the mirror behind the register showed my face. Wide green eyes, auburn hair in a messy bun, no lines of defeat yet. Holy shit. I'd come back. Reborn in my own skin. Right before it all went to hell. The bell above the door jingled, pulling me from the vertigo. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind where the rain hammered the pavement outside like it was trying to drown the whole Midwest. My heart hammered too, because I knew what was coming. 3 months from now, my husband, fiancé back then, Mark, would discover the discrepancies in the books. He'd plant evidence of embezzlement, whisper to the bank about my addiction, and watch the diner crumble while he bedded his mistress, our accountant Lisa. By year's end, I'd be bankrupt, desperate, and dead in that accident on I-70, the one the cops called a drunk driver, but I knew was no coincidence. Mark had always been too clean, too charming. This time, I'd make him bleed first. I wiped my hands on my apron, the fabric stiff with yesterday's grease, and forced a smile for the only customer braving the storm, old Mr. Hargrove, hunched over his black coffee like it held the secrets to the universe. "Morning, Vic," he grumbled, his voice gravel from 60 years of Marlboros. "World's ending out there. Gimme the usual. Eggs over easy, hash browns crispy." "Coming right up," I said, my voice steady even as my mind raced. In my old life, Hargrove had been my one constant, tipping extra when bills piled up, sharing stories of his Korean War days to keep me sane. He'd bury me with flowers when I died, muttering about how the good ones always go first. Not this time. This time, I'd save the diner. Save myself. And bury Mark instead. As I cracked eggs into the skillet, the memories flooded back unbidden. The good ones first, to torture me. Mark and I had met 5 years ago at a food truck festival in Westport. He was a slick sales guy for some agribusiness firm, all dimples and tailored suits, promising to help turn my inherited diner into a chain. "You're a visionary, Vic," he'd said, kissing my knuckles over greasy fries. "We'll build an empire." We'd laughed about it, dreaming of locations from Kansas City to St. Louis. I'd poured my inheritance, 50 grand from my folks' farm accident, into renovations, trusting him with the numbers, because math had never been my strong suit. Big mistake. The betrayal hit slow at first. Little things. Charges I didn't recognize, Lisa lingering too long in his office during consultations. Then the audits. "It's bad, babe," he'd said one night, his eyes wet with crocodile tears. "Someone skimming. If it's you. God, Vic, we can fix it." Fix it? He'd fix me right into a noose of debt, selling off assets behind my back, framing me as the junkie who cooked the books to feed a habit I never had. The diner shuttered, my name dragged through the local paper. Local entrepreneur falls to addiction. Friends vanished. Hargrove stuck around, but even he couldn't stop the spiral. That final morning, I'd confronted Mark, coffee mug in hand, tasting the bitter almonds too late. The drive to clear my head became my grave. Now, spatula in hand, I flipped the eggs with precision, channeling the rage into perfection. No more victim Victoria. This was round 2, and I had the script memorized. Step 1. Audit the books myself. Step 2. Tail Lisa and catch them in the act. Step 3. The revenge. Something poetic, American as apple pie, ruin his empire before he could touch mine. Hargrove slurped his coffee, eyeing me over the rim. You look like you've seen a ghost, girl. Everything all right? I plated his food, the steam rising like a veil between past and present. Just the rain, Mr. H. Makes a body think too much. He chuckled, digging in, oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. The lunch rush was a ghost town, truckers skipping town for drier routes, locals huddled at home. I used the downtime to boot up the ancient desktop in the back office, dust motes dancing in the slanted light from the single window. The ledger software was basic, QuickBooks on a wheezing Dell, but I'd learned enough in my dying days to spot fudges. Mark's touches were there already: inflated vendor invoices, padded payroll for ghost employees. Subtle, like a snake in the grass. I printed copies, my printer wheezing like it resented the intrusion. Evidence. The first brick in his wall of downfall. By closing, the rain had eased to a drizzle, the streets gleaming under sodium lamps. I locked up, the closed sign swinging like a noose, and drove my beat-up Ford Focus home to the apartment above the diner. Mark was there, sprawled on the couch in his gym shorts, scrolling ESPN on his phone. God, he looked so young, so innocent, dark hair tousled, that boyish grin flashing as he looked up. Hey, beautiful. Tough day. In the old timeline, I'd melt into his arms, forgetting the unease. Now, ball rose in my throat. The usual. You? Closed a deal on some corn futures. Dinner's on me tonight, Chinese? He stood, pulling me close, his cologne, that crisp citrus scent, wafting over me like a lie. I let him kiss my cheek, my skin crawling. Sounds good. As he dialed the takeout, I slipped into the bedroom, heart pounding. Under the mattress, I stashed the printouts, a hidden knife from the kitchen drawer beside it. Just in case. Revenge wasn't murder, not yet, but a girl had to be prepared. That night, as we ate lo mein cross-legged on the floor, laughing about dumb customers, I watched his mouth move, memorizing the tells, the way his eyes darted when he lied about work hours, the casual brush of his hand that lingered too long. He was good, Mark. Cunning as a fox in a henhouse. But I was the hen who rose from the dead. Sleep came fitful, dreams of twisted metal and his laughter echoing. Morning brought clarity. At the diner, I cornered my part-time cook, Jamal, in the alley during his smoke break. Hey man, I need a favor. Off the books. Jamal, with his faded chief's tattoo and easy smile, raised an eyebrow. What's up, boss? You know I'm good for it. Keep an eye on deliveries. Note anything off, quantities, signatures. And watch Mark if he stops by. I trusted Jamal. In the old life, he'd been fired in the fallout, ended up homeless before clawing back. Loyalty, like that, didn't grow on trees. You got it. That boy's been sniffing around Lisa too much lately. Smells fishy. My blood ran cold. He knew? Yeah. Fishy. The week blurred into a tense routine. Serve pie to farmers grumbling about tariffs, smile through Mark's late nights, gather intel like a one-woman sting-op. I installed a cheap dash cam in my car, snapped photos of Lisa's sleek Audi parked at motels. The evidence piled up, a digital noose tightening. Then the hook that would reel it all in. It was a Friday, the air thick with the promise of weekend humidity. The diner hummed with its rare crowd, a gaggle of high schoolers on prom-budget dates, a salesman nursing a Bud Light. I was wiping down booths when the door swung open, admitting a stranger, mid-40s, rumpled trench coat, face like a basset hound who'd lost a bet. He slid onto a stool, ordered coffee, and a slice of cherry pie, black. We chatted idly. Weather, Royals' slim playoff chances. He ate slow, savoring like it was his last meal. When he paid, he left a 20, exact change, and something else, a crumpled Missouri Lotto scratch-off ticket, wedged under the saucer. Keep it, he muttered, eyes distant. Luck's a funny thing. Sometimes it finds you when you least expect. I pocketed it absently, watching him vanish into the lot. Mark was due any minute for date night, so I busied myself. But later, during lull, curiosity won. I scratched it in the bathroom mirror, the cheap foil flaking under my nail. 3 matches. Then the bonus. My breath caught. $50 million jackpot. Drawn last night. Unclaimed.
Holy fucking shit.
I stared at my reflection, the woman who died penniless now holding a ticket to Armageddon for Mark, for Lisa, for every lie they'd spun. This wasn't luck. This was fate handing me the loaded gun. The diner? It wouldn't fail. Not on my watch. And Mark? He'd learn what betrayal really cost. The ticket burned a hole in my pocket all weekend, a secret heavier than sin. Mark and I drove to the Lake of the Ozarks for a getaway, his idea to celebrate some phantom bonus. In the old timeline, it was the trip where I'd caught the first real whiff of deceit. Perfume on his collar, a text buzzing from Client L. This time, I played dumb, sipping cheap rose by the water while he grilled burgers, his phone face down like a guilty verdict. "You're quiet tonight," he said, flipping a patty, the sizzle masking his probe. "Just thinking about the diner. Expansion ideas. With your sales magic, we could franchise." I leaned into him, my hand on his thigh, feeling the tension coil. "Lie to me, baby. Give me more rope." He grinned, that shark flash. "Hell yeah. Lisa's crunching numbers. We'll be rolling in it." Lisa. There was casual as a weather report. By Sunday night, back in our apartment, I waited until his snores filled the dark, then slipped out to the diner's office. The ticket gleamed under the desk lamp, a talisman of vengeance, claiming it meant lawyers, taxes, headlines. Anonymity was key. No, local diner owner wins mega jackpot, splash that'd tip Mark off. I Googled trusts, LLCs on my phone, heart racing like a getaway driver. By dawn, I drafted emails to a Kansas City attorney specializing in high rollers, using a burner account from the library computer that afternoon. Monday morning, the diner smelled of fresh brew and possibility. Jamal slid me a note with his order slip. "Delivery short 50 pounds flour yesterday. Signed MT. Mark's initials." Bingo. I nodded, pocketing it. The breakfast crowd thinned, leaving me time to call the lawyer. Elena Vasquez, a no-nonsense Latina with a rep for shielding celebs from gold diggers. "Ms. Hale," she said after I spun a vague tale. 50 mil? We move fast. Meet tomorrow, noon. Bring ID, no fanfare. I hung up, exhaling. Step 1 to riches. Check. Now, the poison. Mark texted he'd be late, meeting with suppliers. Suppliers my ass. I grabbed my keys, tailed his SUV to a seedy strip mall off Troost Avenue. There, in the lot of the Blue Moon Motel, Lisa's Audi purred beside his. Through the rain-streaked window of my Focus, I watched them emerge, laughing, her hand in his back pocket. Click. Dash cam immortalized it. But I needed more voices, proof of the scam. That night, I confronted the mirror, practicing lines. "Mark, we need to talk about the books." "No. Too soft. You son of a bitch and know everything. Too soon. Paciencia, beak." Let him dig his grave deeper. Tuesday, I claimed the ticket under a shell corp. Ozark Holdings. Elena handled the press blackout, her fees a drop in the bucket. By evening, funds wired, after taxes, 30 mil clear. I stared at the confirmation email, numb. Power. Real, filthy power. The diner could expand, sure, but first, war. I funneled a chunk into surveillance. Private, I named Rocco, ex-cop with a mustache like a broom and eyes like a hawk. "Whatever you need, doll. Dirt's my middle name." He started with Mark's finances, cross-referencing my ledgers. Wednesday, his report landed, offshore accounts, siphoned funds to a Cayman setup in Lisa's name. $500,000 already. And the kicker? Mark's firm wasn't agribusiness. It was a front for laundering, ties to Chicago syndicates, whispers of meth routes through farm trucks. My fiancé, the boy next door, was a goddamn mobster. Rage boiled, but I iced it. Controversial decisions ahead. Did I go public, torch his world? Or play long game, bleed him slow? I chose slow. American justice was slow too. Courts clogged, cops bought. This was personal. Thursday, The diner buzzed with rumor. A regular, Betty from the bakery next door, leaned over the counter. Heard you hit it big, Vic? That glow. It's winner's light. I laughed it off, pouring her decaf. Nah, just won a pie contest. But word leaked. Elena's firewalls weren't ironclad. Mark cornered me that night, eyes gleaming.
Babe, spill.
The money. It's you, isn't it?
Fais une surprise. What?
No. He pulled me close, too tight. Come on. We're partners. Let's use it. Pay off the diner, start fresh. His breath hot on my neck, lies dripping like honey. I pulled back, searching his face. Partners.
Right. That word, it snapped something.
In the old life, it had chained me. Now it was my weapon. Friday brought the twist I hadn't scripted. Rocco called during rush. Got a name on the truck that hit you, last time. Driver was Mark's cousin, paid off. And Lisa? She's not just screwing him. She's his sister. Half-sister, from some affair. They grew up scheming together.
Sister.
The affair was a cover, the betrayal deeper, a family con. My stomach churned. All those meetings, the planted evidence, it was blood against outsider.
Me.
The mark. I served pie with shaking hands, mind fracturing. Hargrove noticed, sliding me a 10-spot tip. Chin up, kid. Storms pass. Not this one. This was biblical. That weekend, I ghosted Mark, texts about inventory, dodging his calls. Elena set up the trust transfer, diner ownership to me sole, ironclad. Monday, I fired Lisa via certified mail, citing breach. Her reply? A scream over voicemail. You bitch. You have no idea who you're fucking with.
I did. And it thrilled me.
Revenge Phase 2. Leak. Anonymous tips to Mark's boss. IRS flagged with Rocco's docs. By Wednesday, feds knocked, subpoenas flying. Mark came home wild-eyed, packing. Vic, what the hell? They're saying fraud. Play innocent. I don't know, baby. Maybe bad luck. He grabbed my arm, bruised tight. This you're doing? The money. I wrenched free. Knife from the drawer flashing in my mind. Controversial? Hell yes. I could end it here, self-defense story polished. But no, too quick. Prove it, I whispered, shoving him out. Call the cops on your mob-tied ass?
Nah.
Let the rats eat each other. He slammed the door, tires squealing into the night. I collapsed, sobbing, not for him, for the girl I'd been. Then, steel. Onward. The diner thrived on the chaos. I hired back Jamal full-time. Renovated with lotto cash, new booths, craft beers on tap. Customers flocked, whispers of my good fortune, drawing hipsters from the Crossroads district. Betty baked specials. Hargrove spun yarns to packed tables. It was a live, pulsing mine. But Mark circled. Late-night calls from burners, please turning threats. You'll regret this. Vic family sticks together. Family. The word curdled. Rocco dug deeper. Lisa's real play. Inherit Mark's cut. Launder through the diner post-collapse. They'd plan my death to trigger insurance, a cool mill payout.
Poetic almost.
Except I was the ghost now. Climax brewed. Elena warned. Stay clean. Revenge is a drug. Addictive, deadly. But I was hooked. 2 weeks post-win, Mark showed at the diner after close, rain-slicked, desperate. Let me explain. Lisa's crazy. It's not what you think. I unlocked the door, shotgun from under the counter casual in my grip. American as the Second Amendment. Explain.
Now.
He spilled, half-truths laced with venom. Mob debts, Lisa's blackmail, my accident as collateral. But his eyes? Cold calculation. He lunged for the gun. I sidestepped, barrel to his temple. One move and you're done. He froze, smirking. You won't. You're soft, Vic.
Wrong.
I was forged in fire. The rain pounded the roof like Judgment Day applause, Mark's breath ragged in the dim diner light. The shotgun, my daddy's old Remington, oiled and loaded, felt like an extension of my arm, heavy with the weight of second chances. His smirk faltered, eyes flicking to the door, calculating escape. Vic, put it down. We're even. The money split it. We walk away kings.
Kings.
The delusion dripped from him, thick as the humidity. In the old life, I'd begged for scraps while he built his throne on my bones. Now, with the lotto fortune humming in my veins like liquid nitrogen, I saw him clear, a weasel in wolf's clothing, cornered and hissing. Even? I echoed, voice low, steady.
You poisoned me, Mark.
Framed me, ran me off the road like roadkill. That's your idea of even? His face paled, the charming mask cracking. Poison? That was an accident. Pills in the coffee for your nerves. You were spiraling, babe. And the truck, coincidence. I loved you.
Loved.
Past tense, the coward. I chambered around, the click echoing like a guillotine. Controversial? Pointing a gun at your almost husband in a public place, even empty?
Yeah.
But this was Kansas City, not some sanitized suburb. Folks here knew grudges settled with lead when words failed. Sit. I ordered, nodding to a booth. He complied, slow, hands up like a bad cop show. I slid in opposite, gun on the table between us, finger itching. Start talking. All of it. Lisa, the mob, the money trail. Or I call Rocco's Fed buddies right now. He swallowed, Adam's apple bobbing. Lisa's my half-sister, yeah. Dad was a bookie, Chicago outfit. Taught us the game young. We came here to flip legit, but debts piled. The diner was perfect. Cash flow, easy skim. You were. Collateral. Sweet, trusting Vic. Trusting. The knife twist. And the death plan? Insurance windfall? He shrugged, casual as ordering hash. Lisa's idea. Clean kill. Payout covers the bosses. But I couldn't, called it off. That's why you're here. Liar. The dash cam, the cousin driver, Rocco's photos didn't fib. But his desperation fed me. A vampire at the vein. Prove you're out. Wire the skimmed cash back. Tonight. He laughed, bitter.
Can't.
Feds froze accounts. Lisa's ghosting, probably ratting to save her skin. Good. Let the siblings turn. We sat in silence, rain drumming, the neon open, sign mocking from the window. My mind raced, mercy or massacre. Shoot him, claim intruder, self-defense in Missouri's stand-your-ground paradise. Or let the law grind him, watch him rot in Supermax. The lotto made me untouchable, lawyers on speed dial, alibis scripted. But deep down, I craved the shot, the finality. Babe, he whispered, leaning forward, eyes wet. Second chance. For us.
Us.
The word ignited me. I stood, gun rising. No more chances, Mark. You had yours. I died for it. His hand shot out, fast, feral, grabbing the barrel. We wrestled, table flipping, pie plates shattering like brittle bones. He was stronger, gym rat build against my waitress frame, but rage was my steroid. I kneed his groin, twisted free, barrel to his chest.
Boom.
The shot deafened, smoke curling like a devil's exhale. He slumped, eyes wide in shock, a bloom of red staining his shirt, but not fatal, high and glancing off the shoulder. Cops would call it warning. I called it mercy's edge. Sirens wailed distant, a neighbor's 911. I dropped the gun, hands up as blue lights flooded the lot. He attacked me. I told the first responder, voice breaking just right.
Crazy.
Tried to rob me after the win. They bought it. Body cam footage from my install caught the lunge. Mark groaned on the floor, cuffed, blood pooling. Vic, why? Because you kill me first, I murmured, as they dragged him out. The aftermath blurred. Statements, Elena's cavalry of attorneys, headlines scrubbed to diner owner foils armed ex. The lotto stayed buried. Ozark Holdings a ghost. Jamal cleaned up the mess. Hargrove brought whiskey. Proud of you, girl. Stood your ground.
Ground. Yeah.
But the high faded fast, leaving hollow. Mark lawyered up, out on bail. Lisa vanished. Rika whispers in Chicago rags. I expanded the diner. Second location in Westport, farm-to-table vibe drawing foodies. Life bloomed, dates with a gentle brewer named Tom. Therapy unpacking the grave dirt in my soul. But shadows lingered. Months in, twist hit like a sucker punch. Rocco called. Found Lisa. She's talking to you. Says meet, neutral ground. Parkville Bridge, midnight.
No caps.
Sister dearest, bargaining? I geared up. Wire, Glock and purse. Controversial as hell. Vigilante meets? Straight out of a Tarantino flick, but American to the core. Take your justice where the system stalls. The bridge spanned the Missouri, fog rolling off the water like cigarette smoke. Lisa waited, silhouette sharp in leather jacket, blonde hair whipping in wind. No mark, good. Victoria, she sneered, voice smoke-husked. Heard you shot my brother. Ballsy. Family trait. I quipped, hand near the recorder. What do you want? Cut a deal. I flip on the outfit. Testify against Mark's bosses. You bury the diner scam. We both walk. Bury? After the poison, the frame? Why me? She lit a cig, flame illuminating hard eyes, Mark's eyes. Because you're clean now. Lotto queen.
And guilt.
Mark pushed the accident. I handled books. But you were good for him. Softened him.
Softened.
The lie stung. Guilt doesn't buy absolution. Feds have enough. She exhaled, smoke curling. Twist, Mark's not done. He's out raging.
Coming for you.
Tonight. My blood iced. Sirens? No. Headlights pierced fog. SUV roaring onto the span. Mark, bandaged shoulder, eyes feral behind the wheel. He gunned it straight at us. Lisas hoved masite, dires skreamet. The crash, metal on concrete, her scream cut short as the rail buckled. She hung half out, dangling over Blackwater. Mark stumbled from the wreck, gun drawn. You bitches. I scrambled up, Glock out. Drop it. He fired wild, bullet pinging off a beam. Lisa clawed the edge, pleading. Controversial apex. Save the snake or let her fall. Mark advanced, rage blind. You ruined us, Vic.
Us.
Always us. I aimed, squeezed, 2 to the leg. He crumpled, howling. Then to Lisa, climb. Or swim. She hauled up, shivering, defeated. Cops swarmed, anonymous tip from my burner. Mark and Lisa cuffed, syndicate crumbling in dawn raids. I walked free, the wire gold. But victory soured. Therapy unearthed the rot. I'd become them, gun first, trust shattered. Tom left gentle. Heel first, Vic. The diners thrived, empires now, but empty. Hargrove saw it, over coffee one dawn. You won, kid. But what's the score?
Score.
Lives tallied, blood on hands. Happy ending? In America, winners smiled through the scars. The trials dragged like a bad hangover. Federal court in downtown Kansas City, a circus of suits and stenographers. Mark's mob ties unraveled fast. Indictments for racketeering, money laundering, attempted murder. Lisa flipped early, singing like a canary in exchange for reduced time. 10 years federal, no parole. Mark? He glared from the stand, shoulder scar a badge of our midnight tango, spinning tales of my obsession post-lotto. She framed me, Your Honor. Jealous rage.
The jury didn't buy it.
My evidence, ledgers, videos, the bridge wire, painted him the villain, a modern-day Capone in khakis. Verdict, guilty on all counts, life without. As marshals led him out, our eyes locked one last time. This isn't over, Vic, he mouthed, that smirk faint but venomous.
It was. For him.
I testified clean, voice steady, the courtroom's AC humming like approval. Elena high-fived in the hall. Nailed it. You're free.
Free.
The word echoed hollow. The diners, 3 now, with a food truck pilot, raked millions, my face on local mags as the comeback queen. Philanthropy followed. Scholarships for culinary kids, addiction clinics in memory of the lie that killed me. Hargrove got a booth named after him, eternal coffee on the house.
Jamal?
Partner now, equity stake, building his own dream. But nights, alone in the penthouse Elaine had helped me snag overlooking the plaza, ghosts visited. Mark's laugh in the wind, Lisa's plea from the bridge. And me, the woman with the gun, decisions that blurred hero and heel. Controversial? Damn right. I'd skirted vigilante lines, tempted fate with that shotgun standoff. In America, we Leone-ize the Avengers, Rambo, Travis Bickle, but whisper when they stare back from the mirror. Tom reappeared 6 months post-verdict, bumping into me at a farmer's market, apples in hand. Heard the news. Coffee? Neutral ground. We met at a neutral spot, a bookstore cafe in the crossroads, shelves groaning with Kerouac and King. He was the same, easy smile, flannel over a gentle frame, no shadows. You look lighter, he said, stirring his latte. Lighter.
Yeah.
I sipped black, no sugar, bitter suited me now. We talked royals, craft brews, skirting the abyss. His brewery partnered with my trucks. Synergy, he called it. Dates followed. Walks in Luce Park. Picnics by the fountains. He knew the headlines, the scars, but didn't pry. Everyone's got a war story, he'd say. Yours just came with sirens. Love crept slow, tentative, a seedling in scorched earth. But it grew. Proposals over pie at the original diner, rings simple as his heart. Marry me, Vic, build something real. I said yes, tears real. Wedding small, Jamal best man, Betty catering, Hargrove walking me down the aisle in the diner's back lot, string lights twinkling like stars. Vows exchanged under Missouri sky, promises of trust rebuilt brick by brick. Yet the twist lingered, a shadow at the feast. A year in, honeymoon glow fading, a letter arrived. Prison postmark. Mark scrawl. You think it's over? Blood calls to blood. Lisa's kid, your niece, sorta, knows the truth. She's coming.
Niece.
The bomb detonated quiet. Lisa had a daughter? Rocco confirmed. 18, foster system churn, now hunting roots. And revenge? The cycle spun anew. She showed weeks later, knock at midnight, a girl with Mark's eyes, Lisa's fire. Own beak. Mom said, you owe us.
Oh.
The word ignited old flames. I let her in, coffee brewing, stories spilling. Not the sanitized version, the raw. Betrayal's bite, rebirth's fury, the gun's recoil. She listened, tears carving tracks then. I don't want your money.
Just. Family.
Real this time. Controversial end? Absolution's gamble. I took it, therapy for 3, her college tuition no strings. Mark rotted, hearing whispers of our mended web. Happy? In patches. Tragic? Only if you tally the ghosts. The diner thrived, a beacon. Mornings I'd flip eggs, Hargrove grumbling beside, Tom stealing kisses in the kitchen. Reborn, revenged, redeemed, imperfect as America itself. Storms came, but I stood firmer, shotgun shelved, heart open. Luck's funny thing, that ticket taught me. Sometimes it changes everything. Sometimes you change it back. And in the quiet, when rain tapped the roof, I'd whisper to the void. We're even now.